We show up every day, we log in, we sit down and say here. But presence in teaching and learning, it isn't just about attendance. It's easy to forget that behind every screen, behind every desk, or every discussion forum post, there's a real person, a learner, and a story. It can be someone who's excited, nervous, overwhelmed, or just pushing through just to be there. It's easy to lose sight of that in a crowd, but presence, that's what brings us together. That's what turns a classroom into a community. Presence looks different depending on the space. In a classroom, it might be the sound of shared laughter, a glance that says, I see you. It's all about the eye contact, a nod, a moment of real-time connection. Online, it tends to be quieter. It can be a name spoken in a video, a kind word left in a grading comment, a teacher's camera turned on for the entire video lecture, or a message to a student that says, hey, I've noticed you've been absent for a couple days. Is everything okay? It's easy to think that one setting is more real than the other, but presence isn't about format. It's about intention and the need for connection, recognition, and the need to matter. It is all the same. Presence in teaching, it isn't about being perfect. It's about perfectly being imperfect. Presence in teaching means to be real in how we show up, and that means to be imperfect, to be human, and to engage. It's about creating space for students, space for curiosity, for questions and connections. And students, they notice. They notice when you see them, when you hear them, when your feedback feels like a conversation and not a correction. Presence tells them you matter here. You're not just a name on a roster. You're part of this learning space. Teaching, like in life, is about those small, tiny moments, those micro moments that add up. Presence doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't need to be loud or perfectly worded or polished. Sometimes it's a pause, taking a breath before moving on, a student's name that's spoken with care. It's a well-placed question that invites and does not demand engagement. A gentle nudge that says, this was interesting, tell me more. Presence is about the eye contact, a smile and a discussion forum reply. It's a message that says, I've noticed you've been quiet, are you okay? It's staying in the moment with the student when they need it. These tiny moments, they're not going to show up on your syllabus. They won't be listed in the LMS, but they are at the heartbeat of teaching. Presence lives in the margins, in the way we show up for one another, especially when no one else sees it. Those tiny micro moments, for our students, those are the moments they carry with them. It's not the grade, not the rubric, but the feeling of being known, of being seen, the feeling of mattering.
For me, teaching in the margins means I'm paying attention to the small moments in my class. Those tiny micro moments that build upon each other is truly where teaching occurs. Like I've said before, teaching isn't a grand gesture. It's not about the big picture. It's about staying present with that student in the time they need it most. And that could look like a variety of different ways in my class. It can mean I have my video turned on when I'm doing a Zoom call or doing a video lecture. It means that I have Bear, my dog, be included in my videos. I'll introduce him, he'll wear his best tie, and he'll say hi to everybody. It's tiny little moments like that that will stay with the student and really have an impact on them. And it builds connection, it builds presence, and it helps us connect with each other.
Presence isn't just the teacher's job. Learning asks something of us too. It asks us to lean in, to stay curious, to let confusion be part of the process. It's not always easy, but real learning, it rarely is. It stretches us, challenges us, and changes us. And the students who grow the most, those are the ones who choose to show up even when it's hard. And that's what presence in learning really looks like. It shows up in the way the students lean into the process. It looks like raising a hand to ask a question even when they're unsure. It's sharing a thought in a discussion forum, knowing that it might not be perfect. It's pausing to reflect and then to revise an idea after feedback. It's showing up for group work, contributing their piece to the puzzle. It's turning confusion into curiosity. I don't get this yet, but I want to. Presence in learning isn't always about knowing the answer. It's about choosing to engage, to stay open, and to keep trying. When we're present in learning, we bring our full selves into the experience. To teach with presence means to have a pedagogy that's grounded in humanity, and that is to teach with care. Not just care about the content, but care about the people. It's noticing when a student's tone shifts, when they stop turning in work or stop speaking altogether. It's taking the time to pause before hitting post or grade, and remembering that this is a person and not just a submission. Presence means we reflect after class and ask, did I reach them today? Did they feel seen? It's not always obvious, but sometimes it means we re-record a video in order for it to feel warmer. It's a note in the gradebook that says, I really like this part, good job. It's a quiet resistance to invisibility, a steady signal that says, you matter, I'm here, I see you. Sometimes, when we move so quickly through our roles, whether it's teaching, grading, responding, resetting assignments, that we tend to forget to pause and to ask ourselves, what does presence really look like for us and for our students? Because presence isn't a feature on the platform, it's not built into the syllabus. It's about how we show up. It's in our tone, in our timing, in the way we notice and respond with care. So take a moment and ask yourself, have I felt present, focused, connected, and not just being performative? Have I responded in a way that felt like a person and not part of a system? When I give feedback, am I offering direction or just correction? Is there room in my course for pause, for laughter, and for reflection? Present isn't something we have to get perfect. Again, we are perfectly imperfect. It's something we choose again and again. Presence is a practice. It's not a one-time gesture or a one-time performance. It's built into the everyday rhythm of the classroom. It's built into how we respond, the tone we use, the space we make for others. Presence begins with one small choice, and for you, maybe it's this. Say a student's name in your next reply. Ask a colleague how they're really doing and stay long enough to listen. Leave a little more warmth in your next message, a little pause in your next meeting. Those small choices, micro moments, tiny shifts, they add up. Presence isn't about doing more, it's about being more real in the moments that already exist.